Well, aloha team. Jason C. Scott here, 20-year combat United States Army retired veteran. Um, wow. Today it's a pretty special project. Um, this is really focused towards my junior enlisted folks. Believe it or not, when I retired as a sergeant first class, at that point I'd already bought a couple homes through my military career, and I started later in life. Right, I bought my first home when I was a staff sergeant, and so this video is for my junior enlisted members that that may question them, like, hey, can I actually buy a home, right? And can I leverage the VA home loan benefit? And the answer is absolutely yes. You can leverage the VA home loan benefit to help build wealth using real estate. And today is going to be a step-by-step video on how to do that, and you're definitely going to want to tune in for this. So let's get started. All right, so yeah, I'm super passionate about the VA home loan benefit. It's literally probably one of the most, if not the most, powerful benefits that you've earned through your service to this country, right? I always say, my mantra is, I believe that everyone that has served and sacrificed this country, served and sacrificed for this country, should definitely own a piece of it, right? And that's where the VA home loan benefit comes in. And one of the most powerful reasons why is you can buy a home with literally 0% down payment, right? That is like huge, monstrous. That doesn't even, those adjectives don't even really put it into perspective, especially in today's economy, where home prices are continuing to grow up, right? I mean, when I bought my first home in Smith Station, Alabama, I bought it for $169,000. That was in 2009. That same home today goes for $325,000, right? Our second home that we bought in Hawaii, in Kapolei, Hawaii, on the island of Oahu, we bought it for $568,000. Today, it's going for $1.2 million, right? So extremely powerful. For the non-military members to buy a home, there's a few more hurdles they have to go through. I mean, they have to worry about down payment issues and stuff of that nature, and where to get that money from, where you, through your service, do not have to do that, right? The other key, what makes that so key is the fact that you get to put zero money down, 100% financing, and you have no private mortgage insurance. On the civilian side, if they don't put at least 20% down, they do have private mortgage insurance, right? Which means they'll have their normal mortgage payment plus the amount that they have to put down, and then they have an additional monthly payment to, and basically it's insuring the loan that in case they default, the lender is protected, right? You don't have that. So that can save you anywhere from, depending on your credit score and loan amount, hundreds of dollars a month, just that alone. And of course, no down payment saves you a buttload of money down that you get to keep in your coffers. And in fact, the reason why it's so powerful is that, did you know that the average active duty service member at any given time during their military career has less than $6,000 in liquid assets? Let's think about that, right? For a civilian, if they want to buy a $100,000 home, right, minimum they're going to put down is 3% or 3.5%. So that's either $3,000 or $3,500. So if you didn't have the VA home loan benefit and you have less than $6,000 in liquid assets at any given time, if you fit during that average, the average group or the average demographic, that's going to be pretty difficult to do, right? So now you can understand that even on the civilian sector, the average amount of income for standard buyers and reserves put away, down payment put away, it's not a lot, right? So that's huge for you. It's saving you a ton of money, and it's just an amazing benefit, right? I firmly believe, I tell everybody that if you're buying a home and it's your primary residence and you've served this country, there is no better loan product than the VA home loan benefit. All right, now that we've established you're going to use your VA home loan benefit, step two, we've got to check your certificate of eligibility. Now, most lenders are going to say, hey, we need you to go to the VA, pull up certificate of eligibility or my benefits and do it yourself, right? I'll be honest, we don't do that. We are VA home loan experts. We've been doing it for over 12 years. I personally, I have an authorized sign in the VA portal with very minimal information from you, basically your birth year, your name, and your social security number. I'm able to pull your certificate of eligibility from your service and get you a copy of that. That tells you I am truly a VA loan expert, because I'll be honest with you, people that don't do VA loans regularly don't have those credentials, right? They rely on you to actually go through and get that documentation. But you are going to need your certificate of eligibility. It's going to state exactly, your full entitlement amount or your entitlement amount, and whether it's your first or consecutive use, right? But again, certificate of eligibility is step 2. All right, step 3. This is a big one to me, right? You really need to know your budget. And I'll be honest with you, most folks, when they come to see me as a first-time home buyer, have no idea what their budget is. Because I'll ask them, I'll say, okay guys, do you know what your budget is to buy a home? And they'll be like, well, Jay, we've been looking at, $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 homes. And I'm like, whoa, okay, that's cool. That's a cool place to dream. But do you know the monthly payment that goes for that home? Well, Jay, I heard that I could get a $700,000 home for, a little over $2,000 a month, which is just over my BAH. Au contraire, mon frere. No, that is not going to happen, right? Not at 100% financing. So what we do is I always say, okay, first off, what's your current position look like? Are you renting, living on post? And if you're living on post, technically you're renting, because if you receive BAH, it's just going right back to Uncle Sam, so that way you can have the domicile that you live in. So most people, they'll say, yep, we're renting. I'll say, okay, how much do you pay a month in rent? And most of them, it's around whatever their BAH is. And then my very next question is, okay, are you thriving or are you surviving, right? And they look at me like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, every month, are you able to make all your bills, no problem, go out and enjoy life, no big deal, and able to put money away? If you are, that's thriving, right? But if you're the other, which is, I literally wait paycheck to paycheck to cover every bill, and we're lucky we have enough left over to do anything, that's just called surviving. And I'll be honest, I have people on both ends of the spectrum, but I have a lot of people that are kind of in the middle, where they're like, hey, you know what? We're not necessarily thriving, but we're able to pay our bills easily. We are able to put a little bit away, but we wish we could do more, right? And that's what we do. Each person's unique. Each person's scenario is different. So that's what we're going to look at and say, okay, what do you got coming in? What do you got going out? Now, with the new mortgage payment on top of that, this is going to give you a ceiling, or a box, at least a framework to work within, of knowing what you can afford. And that literally is step 3. And I think probably one of the most important steps, honestly, throughout the entire process. Okay, step 4. Whoops, 4. Step 4 is actually getting pre-approved. This is, I cannot emphasize how important this step is. All right, once you know your budget, now you got to speak with the lender. Now, if they tell you, yeah, just fill out my credit app, I'll get you pre-qualified in 5 minutes, run away. And here's why. A pre-qualification has literally zero use to it. I have toilet paper that actually has, use for it, right? Toilet paper, you use it, it does what it's supposed to do. A pre-qualification is literally just a waste of time. It's basically a lender has pulled your credit, used your stated income, and said, oh, yep, you look good. Here you go. Here's a pre-qual. No, you want a pre-approval. Pre-approval, you're going to fill out the app. We're going to see what your credit looks like. We're going to have you, first-time home buyer, we're going to have you provide most current pay stubs, most current bank statements, most current 2 years W-2s, all right? We're going to see what you got coming in. Then we're going to scrub it versus what you got going out. Then we're going to establish, the price point, purchase point, and budget, right? And then we're going to run it through our underwriting system. The underwriter system comes back, approve, eligible. Boom, we know you're good to go. And then we're actually going to issue a pre-approval to you. Now, can I get people approved with approved ineligible? Yes, that's another topic for another video at another time to explain the different types of underwriting nuances. But basically, you're going to be pre-approved. Now, once you receive that pre-approval letter, and we'll do a verification of funds letter, and we do an introductory letter, just so that way your realtor and whoever they submit the offer to knows a little bit about us and your lending team that's helping you. While you're out shopping for a home, we're actually going to submit your packet to a full-fledged underwriter, right? Because we want to get your conditional approval done before you even have an accepted offer on your home. Because if you have an accepted offer on your home and our underwriter says, yep, you can afford at least that or less, boom, we are moving really, really fast. And that's why I typically close loans in anywhere from 23 to 28 days regularly, right? We very rarely go over 30 days. unless that is something that is dictated within the actual purchase contract to where the seller just can't close any sooner, right? But typically our average is 23 days from soup to nuts once you have an accepted offer. That, again, step 4, almost as important as knowing your budget, but definitely one of the most important ones before you go out looking for a home is get pre-approved. All right, step 5, man, you know, I keep saying each one of these is a little bit more important than the other, but I'll be honest, step 5 is definitely one of the, if not most important ones as well, and that is finding the right realtor to represent you, right? Okay, I'll be honest with you. Doing VA loans is not brain surgery. Representing VA buyers in real estate is not brain surgery. However, it does help you tremendously as the buyer if both those parties are actually truly experts, right? I liken it to kind of like being a doctor, right? Or being a brain surgeon. You are not going to go to the podiatrist if you need brain surgery, right? Even though a podiatrist is technically a doctor, probably not going to happen. Just like in lending, yes, all mortgage loan originators can do all types of loans. However, doesn't necessarily mean they're the best at doing VA loans, right? Just like realtors. There's a lot of realtors that can show a lot of houses and make you feel good, and you know, that's their job, right? But if they have not ever really had to negotiate a VA loan offer before in their market, or if they're trying to dissuade you to go a different type of product, you really need to think about that, right? So it's important that you find a VA veteran friendly realtor. And I mean more than just someone that says, oh, thank you for your service, right? No, ask them, hey, have you ever had to negotiate for a VA, for a veteran before using a VA loan? How many veterans do you typically help? What's it look like in this market? Ask questions and get feedback. I don't care how nice they are. I don't care if they're willing to send you lobster tails on Christmas Eve as a Christmas gift to your family because they're cool. I get it. You want to do business with people that you know, like, and trust, but at the same time, part of that knowing, liking, and trusting is knowing that they're an expert at what they're going to do. So you really need to do your due diligence, find you a veteran-friendly realtor. I have to be careful as a lender. I can't really, steer you one way or the other. That's technically illegal. Just like realtors can't steer you to a certain lender because, again, that is illegal. What I typically do is say, hey, here's a list of known veteran VA-friendly realtors in this area. You may want to actually, interview them. Find out which one's a good fit for you. And there's nothing saying you have to use them. I'm just saying that these are known, proven people. However, it's ultimately up to you, to make that decision. So yes, having the right realtor, knowing that they're going to work for you and that you are technically the boss, right? Now, granted, that comes with some responsibility. You're not going to be the slave driver. It's a marriage, right? It's working together. The 3 most important people in the transaction are you, your realtor, and your lender, and all 3 of them have to be talking and communicating and working together. It's very important that you do that. So again, step 5, find the right realtor. All right, we're almost done. Step 6. Well, you've been pre-approved, you found the right realtor, you've established your budget, right? We know you qualify for the VA home loan. Now comes the fun part. You got to go find the house, right? And don't get caught in this same trap that a lot of folks do. There's a lot of websites out there that show a ton of listings because they grab their information. It's scraping it. They scrape it from what's called the MLS, Multiple Listing Service. Once you've had that conversation, what we call the buyer's meeting with your agent, you've decided to go with that agent, they're going to ask you things like, what are your wants, needs, wants, and desires? What do you want in a house? What will make this feel like home to you, right? And then, of course, they're going to ask you, what's your budget, right? That's where we came in earlier. We established the budget and the purchase price, ceiling point. And they're going to say, okay, in this market, based off of your needs, wants, and desires, and the budget you're working with, here is a list of homes that are available right now. They have the most current, up-to-date, accurate information as to what's available in escrow. These other sites, typically, there's a 1 to 3 day lag. So they may show something on these other sites, but it doesn't realize that it's already in escrow, meaning it's no longer available, and that's why it's not showing on the realtor portal. But yes, go out, start house hunting. But you might be like, Jay, I'm at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. I'm PCS into Hawaii. How do I do that? Well, part of step 5 was finding a VA-friendly, veteran-friendly realtor. They should understand your situation and they should be willing to say, hey, you know what? As you find homes, let me know. We'll make a showing list at a certain amount of times, and I will go through and actually, FaceTime with you or, video conference with you while I'm walking through the home. So that way you get a bird's eye view, of the home since you're not here, right? Because that does happen quite a bit. Other circumstances, there are literally folks that'll say, hey, I don't know if I can actually watch it real time with you. Can you go and at least record some, send it back to me, right? Your realtor's going to know best on the ground how quickly you have to make a decision and how much interaction you're going to need, in that circumstance. But again, that's why you have to have great communication, set the boundaries and know who's going to do what and what you can expect, proper expectation management, right? But house hunting can be a lot of fun, right? As long as you stick within your parameters and just understand that this is a marathon, not a sprint, right? You want to find the home that's going to work best for you and your family. Cool? All right. We are almost done, I promise you. All right. Now you found the home. Your realtor submitted the offer to the listing agent, and bam, you have an accepted offer. Woo woo! Not quite party time, but we're excited because now we're in escrow, right? And like I said, typically escrows are 30 days or less. That's the norm. And during this time, if your lender did it right, they should have front-ended at the very beginning all the docs that they're going to need from you, or at least a vast majority of them, right? Because I'll be honest, once you go into escrow, you're going to receive emails from 3 different locations. Now, here's a quick tidbit. For those of you that don't want to have a massive inbox trying to cipher through who's sending what, create some email rules and create some folders. One of the subfolders should be lender. That's the lender you're working with. That way, any email that comes from your lender, it goes there. It's easily accessible. One should say realtor, same thing, realtor, right? And the third one should say title/escrow, because they're going to be emailing you and communicating with you as well as you go through this process. But typically, if you stay organized, stay diligent, and you're communicating with all 3 parties, it's going to be a very smooth transaction as long as your lender did the work up front that they were supposed to do and you truly were pre-approved, not just pre-qualified, and there was no hidden skeletons in the closet. Boom. Escrow is a breeze. And like I said, within typically 30 days or less, that's the norm. You should be closing on your new home. So in closing, boom. 7 steps, pretty simple. Now you're a proud homeowner, right? Now the journey really begins. You get to do all the fun things about making it your own, adding your own touches and nuances to it, right? And I'll be honest with you, because this is one of the most expensive things that you're ever going to do in your life until you do it again, hopefully your lender and your realtor continue to communicate with you. I know with us, every one of our clients, they get live real-time market updates that could affect their position in their home by putting them into a better position. We always like to stay connected, right? I always say my clients become part of my extended ohana. It's just something that I learned from Hawaii, and I love having a Hanai ohana, and my clients become part of my family. There's a lot of realtors that do the same thing. And, if you made it this far, it's awesome. Like I said, you are literally on the road to building wealth, and that's what these folks are here to help you continue to do, right? So, until next time, hopefully this video was informative for you. Live well, prosper fairly, and we'll talk again soon. Aloha.